Warhammer with Sheep here, bringing you a battle report. This time I'm up against, yet again, some more Chaos Dwarves. Here's a look at what my opponent's bringing, and I, if you can see on the bottom corner, am bringing my rats. And I am testing out our new Thanquol model. I don't have him quite yet. He comes out this Friday, Saturday from GW, but this Tree Man Ancient here is going to be my Thanquol proxy. So, let's run through the list. So, over on the list here, on the far left flank, we have 6 Chaos Marauder Dwarf beard things that are nasty and scary and don't do a lot of damage and just look scarier than they actually are. Fireborn, which I have known that I can deal with quite easily with magic and some missile shooting. However, I don't have very many shooting. I don't have any shooting in this list, and a lot of magical attacks, and a lot of flaming attacks too, which this an army has an inherent ward against flaming. So we'll see how that goes. A big unit here of 20 or so blunderbusses. Inside here he's got a Chaos Lord, and I think his BSB is in there. And he has a block of 20 Chaos Dwarf Warriors. We have a Siege Giant, because why not? And we have a Kadai Destroyer. Shane's Kadai Destroyer looks absolutely amazing. And then we have a Lord on a Great Bale Taurus. So, on my side, we have 51 Slaves, Warp Lightning Cannon inside this tower, Doom Flare, 50 Storm Vermin, we have a BSB in there, we've got Champion Muso, got an Engineer in there, and we also got a level 4 Grey Seer in there. We have a Doom Wheel up front here, and we have another 50 Slaves. We have Thanquol, who has generated a heck of a lot of Warpstone tokens, 7, D6 plus 2. And then we also have another Doom Wheel over there that I did, excuse me, I failed to show because it was behind the building, Help It Abomination, and another 51 Slaves. We are playing the Kane magic rules, so we have all the spells, and we can repeatedly cast them. So here we have a look. Shane gets first turn. He moves up here like so. Help hits turn this way, so gain an extra inch or so when he pivots to charge in his random direction. Blunderbusses move forward, and so do the Dwarf Warriors. There is my other Doom Wheel, and it is sideways yet again. Everything is coming towards them. If you haven't figured it out, this is Battle for the Past. That's why we are on lengthwise deployment. And here's a look at the magic phase. You know, Chaos Dwarfs have some pretty nasty spells, mostly just Ash Storm. But he has a lot of dice to throw, and I have that many to dispel. So it comes down to a big dice war, and Ash Storm on the Thanquol? Nope, he's okay. Shane managed to fail to cast, I think, the first 5 spells that he attempted to cast, and then I just had so many dice, and I got lucky with how many I could re-roll to cast, and dispelled them all. There wasn't a single spell that got off the first magic phase for him, so I am feeling pretty lucky, and as a rat, I am thanking my lucky 13 stars, and I am charging my Doom Wheels ahead. I was really hoping these guys would move a little bit closer, but alas, there they are. We 50-50'd 4 up on the dice roll, the Fireborn, or on these ugly horseman people, and it was the Fireborn who getting the zaps, which is what I really care about. Same thing with the Great Bale Taurus, he's getting the zaps, and the Hell Pit's going into the Kadai. You know, everything's got magical, it's high strength attacks, and are probably flaming as well. So this Hell Pit was doomed no matter where he was going. I initially put him over on this side just to avoid the Fireborn, but the Kadai was then deployed on that side, so I couldn't get around it. So I might as well go in and see what I can do. I'm pretty much writing that Hell Pit off. There's the Doom Wheels charging up, and everything else sort of shimmies forward a little bit on these slaves, and everything kind of goes sideways. So my magic phase, there's my dice to his dice. I'm attempting a Crack's Call because I need something big, and I am too far away. I should have moved Thanquol up more aggressively. I am out of range out of all of my spells. Crack's Call does nothing. Warp Lightning, I attempt to cast Warp Lightning a whole bunch, and then I Skitter Leap this Engineer way over there, realizing I probably should have Skitter Leaped him first and then cast Warp Lightning with him, since he does have the Condenser and the Doom Rocket. Oh well, lesson learned. Thanquol keeps casting Warp Lightning, and I managed to get 4 wounds on this Chaos Lord on a Bale Taurus, so that was pretty fantastic. Warp Lightning shoots and fails because he insists on rolling Strength 2, as do all of my Doom Wheels in the magic phase, so nothing is wounded from my D6 wounding Warp Lightning things. Ouch. I need something a little bit more reliable if they make a new Skaven book, please. Anyways, Hellpit's getting a wound on him. Fantastic. But he sticks around. Shane just rolled really poorly. Fireborn decided to charge the Doomwheel. I'm okay with that. And Beltaurus moves up here like so to get into marching range with the slaves. And the Siege Giant marches over here, passing all their march tests, and the Chaos Dwarves continue to move forward. His magic phase is broken up in his dice. I can tell what he's planning on casting. And there's my dice. He attempts to get off a few spells, and Irresistibles a lot of them, and I can't dispel them. Thanquil is Ash-Stormed. The Storm Vermin are Ash-Stormed, and the Clan Rat unit of slaves, actually, in between them, is also Ash-Stormed. So, that was my worst fear. Since Ash-Storm's only a 12 to cast, he can repeatedly cast it. As to be expected, Hellpit finally goes down because it rolled Feed, and it can't hurt that stupid Kadai. And you know, they're almost the same amount of points. It's unreal how powerful that Kadai is. Anyways, Fireborn do alright against my Doomwheel. They kill it, and they overrun and reform to look like that. And I managed to get the slaves charge off into the Beltaurus, which he had to close the door and kind of face that way. And then we realized we had to take that back. Also, you see my Stormvermin making a crazy 11-inch charge into the Fireborn. But we had to take both of them back because they were both Ash-Stormed and they can't charge. So, darn it. They were there. That would have been pretty sweet. I would have counted myself very fortunate had they not been Ash-Stormed. As you can see, I've eaten some Warpstone tokens. Alright, Death Frenzy. I don't know why. I love this spell, but it's terrible. It hurts me far more than it ever benefits me. I used 3 Warpstone tokens to, I think I cast some other spell from the Gracier, probably a Crack's Call or something, that was ended up being useless. This is a shot of the perfectly placed Doom Rocket. Decided to roll like a boss and not hit any Chaos Dwarf guy. Warp Lightning Cannon, can you roll something other than a 2? Sure can. I think it rolled a 6 and got maybe 1 wound off, so terrible luck there. But Doomwheel charges into these blunderbusses and says, hey, I'm tired of being shot. And the Chaos Dwarfs say, not today, you're not going to squish us. And there we have a look at sort of everything coming towards me. I have thrown out my toys. I don't have a lot left. I have slaves. Yay! Let's see how long these slaves can tie these people up in combat. While the others barrel down my right flank. I'm not sure who to charge now. And I have moved this Doom Flare out, so it's really interrupting my charge possibilities. He charged the Siege Giant, so he actually has to stay there. And unfortunate, I declared that charge after I declared the Storm Vermin charge, and when they made it, I was thinking, great. And if if they didn't make it, then he probably wouldn't go as far either. But if he did make a nice charge, it would be at least holding up that giant before he gets to this tower and wrecks my face. Because I need that Warp Lightning. I need some D6 wounds. Kadai moves over here and shows me his flank and just says, I don't care. Master or Dreadlord or whatever Lord is on Beltaurus comes over here and flies behind my lines, and there's not much I can do about it. He's got that dice, and I got this Dispel dice. Continues to Ash Storm Thankful, and then breathe the breath weapon onto the slaves. Come on. Those guys are doing well in combat, as to be expected. The slaves are terrible. However, in my turn, I do manage to get a nice Doom Flare charge off on the Siege Giant, just to hold him up an extra turn. Slaves, I have no idea what they're going to do, but he gave me a flank downhill. Maybe I'll get lucky. So I decided to charge in. They're pretty much dead. We got Magic Phase and then his Dispel dice, so I attempt to Curse the Horn Rat, finally get into position, and I take out all but one of his unit, so he has his hero left. And there we have it. Death Frenzy I cast on slaves, which I've used my club mates because, sure, they're just going to die faster now. I really wanted to do Death Frenzy and then get poison off, however, he stopped poison. That was my rationale. I don't normally like casting Death Frenzy on slaves, but if they have the poison, it could be worth it. And then we have the combat there. Giant just squashes that Doom Flare. There's 55 points down the drain. And the Kadai go into town on these slaves. Here we have a look at what's in the combat. The Fireborn on his Shane's turn make a nice, fairly easy charge for him on the Storm Vermin. And we get, what is this? I'm not sure what fell. It was attempted to show maybe a Stone Thrower magic item that went on top of the Warp Lightning Cannon, but scattered off on top of the centaur looking men. These slaves went down really quick. I think this is the third round of combat. And I just kill a fireborn. He reforms to go wider, and he is just burning my storm vermin, my precious storm vermin. I don't know what else to do. He's all over me, and Thanquil's ash stormed. I can't move or cast spells. This is terrible. End times. Love it. Anyway, so that Chaos Dwarf character joins that unit, and this Lone Condenser Warlock Engineer is attempting to cast Warp Lightning as much as possible on them. He does have one wound because he miscast. He did an Irresistible Force, but he's okay. Get a nice charge in there. I move Thankful over here. Finally, he's not Ash Stormed anymore. Cast Bless with Filth, so there's that poison that I need. And I am just outside of anything, but I attempt to Crack's Call because, hey, why not? Maybe I'll get the Kadai. Maybe I'll be lucky. Kill 2 more Fireborn in combat after taking horrendous losses. The hero, the Lord on the Great Bale Taurus is just wrecking my flank, and I get the Kadai, who's like destroyed the other unit of slaves and managed to charge on his turn into the flank of the Storm Vermin. The Chaos Siege Giant is like rawr rawr and attacks the Watchtower, destroys it. However, the Warp Lightning Cannon survives and is just fine, and so they are inch apart. And at this point, I am like, Shane, you have destroyed me. You have completely destroyed me. I just don't want to take off any more slaves. I need them to rank up for next time. And so he said, okay. But I said, I do want to have an epic showdown between Thanquil and your Kadai. That's where I learned that the Kadai was freaking amazing. So Thanquil takes a wound or 2. Oh, I guess that was the last. And the Kadai takes nothing. Second round of combat, Thanquil takes like 6 wounds, and the Kadai takes no wounds. And even with my fists, I took the fists instead of the flame weapons. He's just got a crazy ward against flaming, and unfortunately, that is Thanquil's downside and downfall. So here we have a look at the end of the table, and it's a huge win for the Chaos Dwarves. Thank you for watching.